Yeah. Thank
Welcome to the Seasoned Apologist Live, where we delve into the core essentials of the Christian faith, answer questions, address doubts, and engage with people from all walks of life. Whether you're a believer, an atheist, a Muslim, or a skeptic, this is a space for open dialogue, reasoned arguments, and thoughtful reflections. In our episodes, we explore foundational Christian beliefs like the Trinity, the Incarnation, and the Resurrection. We tackle common objections to the existence of God and engage in meaningful conversations with atheists and skeptics. We also have enriching dialogues with Muslims, sharing and comparing our beliefs about Jesus, salvation, and Scripture. Our goal is to provide insights and answers, helping you defend your faith or explore new perspectives. Join us on this journey of exploration and understanding. Subscribe, share, and be part of our community. Keep asking, keep seeking, and keep believing. The Seasoned Apologist Live, where faith meets reason and dialogue drives discovery.
And all right, you're welcome to the Season Apologist Live. This is the day the Lord has made. We rejoice and be glad in it. My name is Corey Delaware, and I'm so glad that you're joining live today. And I'm so glad that we're doing this program today. Now, if you're joining us for the very first time, the Season Apologist Live is basically a program that helps the Christians to understand their faith and also equip them on how to share the same with others. But you see, beyond sharing our faith with other people, we also seek to do a defense of the Christian faith. And that is what is known as apologetics. So if you've never heard of apologetics before, if this is the first time you're coming on the show, this is exactly what we do right here in the show. Now, last week on this program, we actually had a guest in the studio, a dear brother and friend, a fellow apologist, Brother TMD. And then he started out by telling us about a quick overview. In fact, it's more than a quick overview. So what he did is to give us the basics of the Mut'a marriage in Islam. So what he did was to give us the Quranic verse, and then it started by explaining to us, the traditions, talking about the tafsir and the hadith narration, literature, what they said about this particular marriage. Now, if you're joining us for the very first time, last week we talked about Mut'a, and Mut'a is actually a temporary marriage in Islam, okay? It's a marriage where a man and a woman in Islam can agree to be together for, maybe for 1 hour, 2 hour, 30 minutes, maybe just for a day. And after that, the marriage is dissolved. Okay, so that's actually basically what Mut'a marriage is. And some Muslims are saying that, hey, this has no, connection in Islam. It has no backing in Islam. It has no backing in the Hadith and all of that. And but then, our dear brother TMD was able to show us, variety, of sources right from the Islamic, authorities to show us that this is something that is actually very, very much established in Islam. Okay, it's not something that we're inventing in on you. It's not something that the Christians are creating and they want to use it to blaspheme Islam or even to defame Islam. This is something that is well rooted in Islam. And today, by God's grace, we're going to be taking a look at the concluding parts of this particular, issue. And if you're a Muslim, because I actually saw some Muslim over the weekend saying that, hey, Korede, if you're really, really serious about this, why don't you give us an option to ask questions? Of course, we're going to allow you to ask questions today if you're a Muslim or even if you're a Christian. So if you're a Muslim, please kindly hold your question to the very end of the presentation, because we're going to be allowing you to ask your question. Here's what you do if you're a Muslim and you want to ask your question. So you see that in the comment section, we are going to leave a space for you. Now, we notice that when the program is going on, people have conversation, there's an interaction, going on, in the comment section. So here's what you're going to do so we can distinguish your question from the comment. That's the general comment. So what you're going to do is that when you're typing in your question, start with a capital letter question. All right. So just type question in capital letter and then let it be followed by your question. What I also want to encourage you that when you're putting in your question, please do not make it an encyclopedia, all right, or a thesis. Just make it as short as possible so we can be able to, take your question and answer it. So if you're joining us again for the program, we want to appreciate you for joining it. Thank you for joining us, Olubade Same or Jordan, and so many others who are joining us right about now. So joining me in the studio for us to conclude this particular session is our dear brother and friend, Brother TMD. Brother TMD, how are you doing today?
Good evening, sir. And I'm doing fine.
Yes, how are you doing
And
today?
good evening to our listener at home as well.
So we are so glad to have you in the program, or on the program today. You were here last week and we started off by talking about Mut'a. And a couple of Muslims were shocked hearing this, why some were actually familiar with this particular phenomenon. Now, we know that today is going to be like, a period where we're going to be wrapping up the whole thing. You're going to be concluding, and we want to give an opportunity for questions. Now, but before you start with this, before you start with the presentation, just in a minute, have you ever encountered Muslim denying the evidence that you have brought so far? Like when you talk about this topic of discussion, when you engage them in this particular issue, have you found Muslims denying this and saying that you're just making stuff up? And have you found Muslims also? So these are two questions in one right now. Have you found Muslims who are denying what you're saying? Have you found Muslims who actually accept what you're saying? They're verifying and saying that, yeah, what you're saying is actually true, but we do not hold to this today. So what are your experiences when you engage Muslims on this particular topic?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here again. And we have discussed this so many times in different WhatsApp group, and I've seen people saying that it was a pre-Islamic lifestyle which was carried over into Islam, and with the aim that people are living in it before, and with the gradual process to fade it out. That was the excuse given. So at a point, and it was forbidden, and since then nobody practiced it. So that was what actually instigated my passion to actually look for resources and see if uh, it is true that it was a lifestyle before Islam, which is true, and that at a point it was allowed so that they can fade it out, which is false. And later I discovered that it was a continuous thing. The Sunni Muslim find it disgusting and they try to read them away. Why Shiites still emphasize on uh, uh, the legality of it among them. Meanwhile, the Sunni Muslim are reading one particular hadith which does not say they forbid or prohibited it or cancel it, abrogate it. The text did not say that. So, and we have touched part of it last week, and maybe this week we quickly touch part of it and show everybody that Mut'a was not abrogated. And no, a woman was the first person that saw it disgusting and they cancelled it. And yet, the what is it called? The Shiite Muslim did not agree with that and they continued the lifestyle. And even some Sunni Muslim, like I said, my landlord in Ibadan, as a Sunni Muslim, continued the lifestyle during its service as a what is it called? As a controller general. Every city he went to in Nigeria here as a custom, he has children, wives with thousands of children that he doesn't even know them. He will tell me that he doesn't know the number of children he has. So that's it.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. We don't want to take much of your time because we wanted to delve into this, okay? So if you don't mind, if you're ready, we can actually delve into this. So your slides are on right now. All right. You can just go ahead
Yes.
so that we can delve into this. Now, again, for those who want to ask questions, if you're a Muslim,
Okay.
please note your question, hold your question. We're going to allow you to ask your question, and
Thank
we've
you.
already told you if you want to
Thank
ask
you.
your question,
Let me
kindly
quickly
put
do
it.
it. Can I continue?
Yes, please go ahead. Continue, please.
Okay, last week we started this topic, Mut'a, and last week I said I call it Allah and sex on demand because it's more or less like a prostitution, allowing people to go into a motel and negotiate the price with a woman and also pay her some fixed amount and using a particular period of time, and after that you can go. And when you go to a prostitute house, you don't expect child from it, and if a child comes from it, she's on her own. So that's the exact thing that Mut'a actually provided. Also, the meaning we touched it last week that Mut'a means temporary marriage, and that is derived from the constituent of that particular act. And we talk about that the constituent, which is a fixed time arrangement. Payment are both agreed upon in advance between man and woman, and the marriage is automatically dissolved immediately the time period expires. Then also we define it, and I said that it's actually player marriage. Uh, Apart from the definition given to it as fixed term, temporary marriage, the original meaning, which is the basis, is that it is a player marriage. And I buttressed my point last week using an evidence from Wikipedia, and it has a link that shows, because I was seeing somebody saying that it's using Wikipedia as if you look at the number at the end of each paragraph or each word, you will see that there are references of people who understand what it is. And last week we talked about it as literally translated as fun sex or player marriage. So it's not far-fetched from what I have defined it to be. So if I call it a player marriage or fun sex, I'm actually in line. So then we talk about the statement made by the man and the woman in which they agree together, which is kind of declaration of their marriage, which is that they accept each other, and this is the so and so that I'm going to give you, and the other side say, okay, I accept this. Then we talk about the we identified that it was Allah himself that instituted, I'm sorry, that sanctioned it. He sanctioned the lifestyle. And we quoted the verse, Surah 5, Ayah 87, which read that those people that believe should not forbid the good things which Allah has made lawful for them, and transgress not law, Allah loveth not the transgressor. And I made mention of the word because a Muslim was arguing that good things is plural, not good thing. And last week I said that we touch about it, which we touch a little bit to indicate that the good things that was said in this context were other things that like garlic and many other things which was forbidden. So then we talk about the disagreement and agreement between Sunni and Shiite. Sunni agreed that it was permissible and it's original. Later on, they said no, it's not permissible again or it's abrogated, which Shiite did not agree with. Then we look at the historical context of Surah 587, which we read last week. We have Sahih Bukhari, volume 7, book number 62, number 130, which tell us the historical context of Surah 587. We also read Sahih Muslim, and we discovered that it was actually revealed because of this fast. We also read Sunnah Abu Dawood, and we read a couple of scholars like Imam Fakhruddin Razi. Some Muslims would not want to agree with him, but we have multiple scholars of tafsir. Like I said last week, that he was a 12th century Sunni Islamic theologian, and as well the credential I read it, like he was an expert in fiqh, which we call jurisprudence, and also exegesis of the Quran, and also Sharia law. So it's not just a baby or street man scholar. He's an heavy duty scholar. So also we read some other claim he made that Allah ordered it, and also Muhammad also, Allah revealed the verse in his book, and Muhammad ordered his follower to follow it. Then we also read that Muhammad was actually commanding it to people, like we read in Sahih Bukhari, volume 7, book 62. We read Sahih Muslim as well, where it was. So I just don't want to take our time, because we also talk about how Muslims do Arabic gymnastics and try to cover up for Amiran, which is the Arabic word for permit, for commanded or ordered, which they read as permitted, just to whitewash the significance of the word order or so. So, and we place our what is it called? Our lexicon to prove that this is actually in line with what we said. So, without taking much of our time, you can watch last week's program to see that we did not move away from what we started. So let me quickly move to close to where we stopped last week. We were talking about Ali himself and his testimony. So this is where we had last week. Sorry, I want to move back a bit. So I read from, let me continue from here. The prophetic biography, part 3, page number 365 and 366. We read that the prohibition of the contractual marriage took place in the day of the Kaaba campaign, yet it had been established in Sahih of Muslim that Muhammad allowed them again to sign a contractual marriage in the day of Mecca conquest. Then he prohibited it again. The Shafi said, I do not know any other things which was made lawful, then prohibited, then made lawful again, then unlawful, except the contractual marriage, which was prohibited in the year in which Mecca was conquered. Then after that, it became lawful. So as you can see here, we read that it was made lawful. Ibn Qayyim stated that after the death of Muhammad, Ibn Abbas made it lawful when there was a need for it. Because as we read it last week, it started with Allah Muhammad. Then after Muhammad, his Caliph, Abu Bakr, continuing it. People lived that same lifestyle during Abu Bakr. And just after that, the second Caliph, half of his reign, they lived that lifestyle until he prohibited it. He abrogated it himself. And he abrogated what Allah has made lawful. And let me tell you the fact today, Hadith does not negate Quran. Quran must be revealed, and anything that contradicts Quran will not be taken at all. Then, if a verse was not revealed to negate a particular verse, because Allah said that if we consider a verse unnecessary, we reveal another one that is necessary to supersede it. And in this case, there was no verse, and we read last week. In the same page, in page 461 of Ibn Qayyim Tafsir, he said that Ibn Masud said, I made it lawful when it became indispensable for man. That's for man. Then we have in the interpretation of Al-Badawi, we read that the purpose of the contractual marriage is the mere pleasure of intercourse with woman, and our own enjoyment is what she has given. What she has given was her body. So, but for man, it's a mere pleasure, just having intercourse. Then we also read that and we came to his abode, and the people asked him about different things, and then he made a mention of temporary marriage, whereupon he said, yes, we have been benefiting ourselves by this temporary marriage during the lifetime of the Prophet and during the time of Abu Bakr and Umar. Then in Sahih Muslim, we read, we contracted temporary marriage, giving a handful of taels of flour or as a doer during the lifetime of Allah Messenger and during the time of Abu Bakr, until Umar forbade it in the case of Amir bin Urayt. So you can see that there is a succession of this until it was actually abrogated by the second caliph, even though they practiced that same lifestyle during his reign. And also we read in Sahih Bukhari, in the Kitab al-Tafsir that the verse of Mut'a was revealed in Allah's book, so we did it at the time of Allah apostle, and nothing was revealed in the Quran to make it illegal, nor did the prophet prohibit it till he died. But a man who regarded it illegal expressed what his own mind suggested. So we can see that somebody who consider it illegal make it prohibited it, and that was it. So let's quickly go back to where we stopped last week, which is the testimony of Imam Ali. So in Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti, in his record of Tafsir Dura Mut'a, volume 2, page 140, we read that narrated Abdul Razak Abu Dawood in the book Nasik, and narrated Ibn Jarir from Al-Aqin that he was asked whether the verse of Mut'a has been abrogated. He said no. Ali said that if it were not Umar forbidding it, no one would commit the sin of communication except the wretched. So that is, this Ali was actually blaming people for committing fornication because what is it called? Umar forbid people. So they saw it as a normal lifestyle that you can, if you don't want to commit fornication, you have to do another woman extra and pay them off. So they, but in a normal time, it is adultery, and as far as I'm concerned, it's more or less like fornication as well. Because if you are married and you are sleeping with another woman, despite that you have 4 or 1 or 2, then that does not make any sense at all. So for the second caliph of Islam to take it upon himself to forbid this disgraceful practice proved that Mut'a exists long after Muhammad died, and it was still in vogue at the time of Caliph's Umar reign. Ibn Abbas was actually right when he stated that it was not banned by the Prophet. So we can see it was not banned by the Prophet at all. It was just someone that prohibited. So we also read after the death of Holy Prophet, upon a group of Salafi deemed it Allah, that is permissible. Among the Sahaba, they were Asma bin Abi Bakr, Jabir bin Abdullah, Ibn Masud, Ibn Abbas, Muawiyah, Amrum bin Uraid, Abu Sa'id, Salam Abu Mu'abi, the son of Umayyah bin Khalaf. He said that Jabir reported from the companion that it was valid during the reign of the Prophet, Abu Bakr, and some part of Umar's reign. He said that it is reported from Umar that he forbade it only if there were not 2 just witnesses. Some of the Tabi'in deemed it Allah, such as Tawus, Atta, Sa'id bin Jubair, and the majority of jurists of Makkah. So you can see now that we are not lying. We are just reading Islamic sources. I have not added my word to it. I'm just saying that this is what your sources say. So if they can forbid what Allah has made lawful, if Umar can, who is he? Who is he? Why did he wait so long? Why did he do it during the time of Abu Bakr, when Abu Bakr was still alive? Why did he do it when, I'm raising a valid question and I want people to think alongside. Why did he wait till Abu Bakr died and he allowed a bit during his time? Who are those people that may likely fought him and maybe kill him for prohibiting? Maybe because of that he get rid of some people in battle so that he can have his way to prohibit, and later on he said, no, this thing I can now, because no threat to me as a caliph, I can do my own thing. Then he forbade, because he could not do that during the time of Muhammad, during the Abu Bakr, until his own time, even close to the time of his reign. So we also read that in Sahih, he said Udrat Uman was the first person to prohibit it. So that's an evidence. We've read that one last week. Then we read that Abu Sa'id Khudri and Jabir Abdullah narrated, we contracted temporary marriage till the half of Oman Caliphate until he forbade it in the case of Amir bin Arid. So who is this person? Why did he do it on this particular man? So we'll soon see the reason why he did that. So we read again from Kas al-Umar, volume 7, page number 94. It's about Mut'a, decree Mut'a. we read that Abi Kutema stated that a man came from Syria and said celibacy has become difficult for him. Arrange a woman for, let me read it the way it is so that they won't say I'm putting, celibacy has become difficult for me. Arrange a woman for me with whom I can perform Mut'a. She replied by directing him to a woman with whom he entered into an agreement and brought forward just witnesses. He stayed with the woman for as long as Allah wanted him to stay, and then left. So you see, there is a contract, and after that, he now continues. He continues in that. Say, Umar received information that and summoned me and asked if what happened is true. I replied, yes. He said, that is Umar, if he return, let me know. Upon his return, I informed Umar. Umar summoned him. When the man went to him, Umar asked him, why do you did that? The man replied, I performed it during the lifetime of Rasulullah. He justified it now, and he never prohibited it until the time of his death. Then I practiced it during the time of Abu Bakr, and he never prohibited it until the time of his death. I also practiced Mut'a during your reign, and you did not narrate any evidence of its prohibition. Umar replied, by whom my soul is in his hand. If I had forbade this before today, I would have stoned you. Declare it to the public so that they can distinguish between nikah from adultery. So now Umar is trying to impose his own veto power over them that had before this time. And let me tell you this quickly. The law that's applicable for someone who commit adultery is that they should be stoned to death. And now Umar is using the same thing to as punishment upon the person that do Mut'a. So the reason to prohibit Mut'a was made very clear by Umar, and it was disgusting nikah. That is, you call it adultery, and in the guise of, at least Caliph Umar understand what practice of Mut'a really meant. So he call it adultery. So let's quickly move forward. Also, we read from Dikri Muta'in Umar. Umar climbed the pulpit and said during the lifetime of Rasulullah, 3 things were Allah, and now I deem them haram, and I shall punish those that practice them. Mut'a of Nisa, Mut'a of Hajj, and declaring Ayah Allah Karim Alma. So it was actually listing those things that he is now prohibiting. The Mut'a that you practice during Hajj, or the one you do maybe during your own. Then we also read from the Tafsir that 2 Mut'a existed during Rasulullah's lifetime, and I now prohibited both of them. That is Umar still talking. We also read from Ibn Qayyim al-Jawzi, who said that someone asked Abdullah bin Umar about Mut'a, saying, your father, that is his son. Somebody is asking Umar's son, your father prohibited it. Ibn Umar replied, is the order of messenger of Allah more deserving to be followed, or the order of my father? So the son is actually siding his father in this case, that you have to follow what my father said. So we also read in the Afid Jalaluddin al-Suyuti that Umar is the first who made Mut'a forbidden. That is, Umar was the first person. If Umar was the first person, that means that before him, prior to him, nobody did that. We also read that in Sahih Bukhari, volume 5, page book number 59, number 527, that on the day of Kaaba, Allah opposed to forbid the Mut'a. That's where we are going. Temporarily, and the eating of donkey meat. So Muslim will quote this one. That was where we had last week. Muslim will quote this one to prove to you that it was forbidden, and that's it. But wait a minute. If it was forbidden and it was not private, remember that we read the other time that it was off and on, and it was done even after the lifetime of the Prophet. So if Sunni Muslim quotes this verse, this hadith for you to want to prove that this particular verse is actually talking about prohibition. It is not only that was prohibited. He said donkey meat. Today, Muslims eat donkey meat. Meanwhile, if it was prohibited, then why are Muslims eating donkey meat today? Not only that, we also know that garlic was also forbidden on that same day, on the day of Kiba. Allah opposed to forbid the eating of garlic and the meat of donkey. So we can see that Mut'a, eating of garlic, and also meat donkey was forbidden. But today, Muslims eat garlic. The Sunni Muslim eat garlic, donkey, and if they want to avoid the Mut'a, they should reveal the verse to us that said that. So in the prophetic biography that we read the other time, the prohibition of the contractual marriage took place in the day of Kaaba campaign. Yet it has been established in the Sahih of Muslims that Mut'a allowed them again to sign, Muhammad allowed them to sign a contractual marriage in the day of Mecca Congress. Then he prohibited it. Then Shafi said, I do not know any other thing which was made lawful, then prohibited, then made lawful, again then unlawful, except the contractual marriage, which was prohibited in the year in which Mecca was conquered. Then after that, it was made lawful, become lawful. Not only that, we read from History of Al-Tabari, English version, page number, volume 14, page number 137 to 140. It is also said that you are forbidden temporary marriage, although it was a license, given by God. We enjoy a temporary marriage for a handful of dates, and we can separate after 3 nights. Umar replied, the messenger of God permitted it at the time of necessary, then people regain their lifestyle of comfort. I do not know any Muslim who has practiced this or gone back to it. Now anyone who wishes to can marry for a handful of days and separate them after 3 nights. You are right. Now we read in Surah. Now, thank you very much for that part. Let me quickly move to this particular verse, which helps us solidify the evidence that Mut'a was actually something that stands. Another Quran verse that actually buttressed it is Surah 4, ayah 24. We read, and forbid to you are married women, except such as your right hand possesses. This as Allah enjoined on you, and allowed to you are those beyond that you may seek them by seeking of your by means of your property, marrying them properly and not committing fornication, and for the benefit you receive from them, give them their dowries as fixed, and there is no blame on you what you do by mutual agreement after the fixing of the dowry. Yeah, and I'm going to raise that problem. And anybody that knows Arabic can say I am a liar. You can go to the Arabic version of this verse and look at the word used there, the Arabic word used for marrying them. It is not nikah that was used in the verse. It was istatuma, that was used, which is not marriage. Actually, the Arabic word for nikah in the generally by Muslim is nikah, but the Arabic word used in this place is not in that verse is not marriage or nikah, and it doesn't mean that. It means something you have enjoyed, and this word actually comes from, you can see the root word of Mut'a there, where you have MTATUN, is talking about enjoyment. Now Ibn Kathir actually translated it correctly. Let's look at what Ibn Kathir said concerning this. In Surah 4:24, he said, also forbidding are women already married, except those slaves whom your right hand possess, thus as Allah ordained for you. All other are lawful, provided you seek them with a dowry from your property, desiring chastity, not fornication. So with those among them whom you have enjoyed, not married, enjoyed, give them their required due. But if you agree Mut'a, go to give more after the requirement has been determined. There is no sin on you. Surely Allah is ever all-knowing, all-wise. You can see the way Muslims try to cover up or read away that particular strength of the word. So we can read also in Tafsir of Rasi, page number 2, volume 3, page 286. The word istamta was used. Then go and enjoy these women. You can see that the word istamta was, or stam'a was used, just as Ibn Kathir have said that. We also read further in the Tafsir of Ibn Kathir that the general meaning of which was given as evidence for Mut'a marriage for an intended short time, which was undoubtedly prevalent at the onset of Islam, but was abrogated thereafter, as Ash, Shafi, and a group of scholars were of the opinion that Mut'a marriage had once been permitted, but was later invalidated on 2 occasions. Then we continue the commentary on this. Ibn Abbas is most of knowledgeable person among the people as to what God has revealed to Muhammad. So you know that Ibn Abbas was a cousin of Muhammad. Umar ibn al-Khattab used to say that the interpreter of the Quran is Ibn Abbas. He was accustomed to telling him, you have acquired a knowledge which we never received. You are the most expert in the book of God. So if Ibn Abbas tell us something, we should give credit to who credit due. That is, we should believe whatever I say. So let's see what Ibn Abbas actually said. We read in Sahih Bukhari volume 7, book number 62, number 51, that I heard Ibn Abbas giving a verdict when he was asked about the Mut'a with the women, and he permitted it, Nikah al-Mut'a, on that a fresh slave of his said to him that is only when it is very badly needed and women are scarce. On that, Ibn Abbas said yes. We also read, we are almost through, please permit me. We also read again in this reference recorded by Imran ibn Hussein. He said, Mut'a was revealed in the Quran and no verse was revealed after it, abrogating it. We practiced Mut'a during the lifetime of Rasulullah. He never prohibited it until he died. One person prohibited it based on his view. We have another scholar, they call it Talabi, Talabi, which we have read this reference, upward, but he was actually talking about how the verse was revealed in the Quran and no verse was revealed to cancel it. So we also have another person who appraised Talabi that he was the greatest scholar of his time with regard to knowledge of the Quran. So what he said the other time was actually still valid. So, well, did I actually ban this practice as Muslims has claimed today? No, there's no evidence for that. I'm almost done. We also read in this reference, Tafsir al-Keba, Tafsir of Surah 4:24. Mut'a marriage. You see that it's about Mut'a marriage. Mut'a marriage involves a man hiring a woman for a specific amount of money for a certain period of time to have sex with her. The scholar agreed that this Mut'a marriage was authorized in the beginning of Islam. It's reported that when the prophet came to Mecca to perform Umrah, the women of Mecca dressed up and adored themselves. Their companion complained to the prophet that they had not had sex for a long time. So he said to them, enjoy these women. Enjoy these women. So you can see now it's about Tafsir of Surah 4:24. So it is very clear that this verse also is an evidence that the Quran revealed Mut'a, because Muslims will say, show us Mut'a in that place. The Tafsir actually help us. Then let's quickly round up this. I think I have few slides left. Mut'a is considered a kind of renter. In fact, let me go back a bit. I'm sorry for that. Women will come out, they will dress themselves like the prostitute will dress, show themselves to entice men, and men will contract temporary time with them to have sex. And Muhammad said, go and enjoy yourself. So we continue. Mut'a is considered a kind of renter. This one also called it renter service, because in general, a man's basic aim in this kind of marriage is the sexual enjoyment of a woman. Can you see now? And in return for his enjoyment, the woman receives a certain amount of money or property. In divine renter, the jurisprudence says it is to gain possession of a benefit in exchange for a specific sum. On this point, there are specific hadith as well as the general hadith, which stated that a woman who enter into Mut'a is rented. And rent will be, you are renting woman for sex. Yeah, women for rent. In other words, she has been rented for the purpose of sexual intercourse. Can you see? Women, you are listening. No? Now, Dr. Musa al-Musawi is a Shiite and a reformer. in his book, She Height and the Reformer, we read that this contractual marriage contained a license for the licentiousness and degradation of women's dignity. The things which we do not find even among the permissive society in ancient and modern history. Can you see? This man is actually saying that this is licentiousness and degradation. These are the things Paul condemned. No wonder Muslims hate Paul. They hate Paul with passion. Paul condemned licentiousness. Read Galatians chapter 5, verse 19, which is talking about the law of the flesh. And verse 22 is talking about the law of the spirit. So you can contrast what Islam teaches and what Christianity teaches. Fornication is part of it. Adultery is part of it that Paul condemned, but Islam legalized adultery and fornication. Before we finish, we have on the page 111, he added, this marriage is carried out without a witness. The period of this marriage could be a quarter of an hour or a day or any period of time. In it, it is permissible for a man to have collectively an uncountable number of women at the same time. They can do 3 some, 9 some, 25 some, and so on. The woman may not inherit her husband's possession, and the man does not give alimony to the spouse. Divorce is also carried out without a witness. This marriage is nothing but a license to practice sex, provided the woman is not married to another man. You can see that in the book called Behind the Veil. We are rounding up, sorry. We also read that Mut'a, on the other hand, is an open license for sexual pleasure with as many women as one can financially afford. The women who engage in Mut'a are hired women. Thus, it can be performed with all women irrespective of their age, even a day old. I'm the one that added that too, because they said irrespective of their age, even a day old, a baby in the womb, you can do that. Character, conduct of religion. So it can be Christian, you can be Muslim, it can be atheist, it can be anything. It requires no witnesses, nor is there any obligation on the man's part to provide food and shelter to the woman. Even if I'm adding this, even if there is a product from that activities, maybe you have the woman have a daughter. In the future, you can look for the daughter and start sleeping with the daughter. The only condition is that the woman agreed to the price and the length of the Mut'a, and that the man pays her the compensation when he has retained with her. One can discern for himself whether such a practice lead to sheer promiscuity or promote chastity. You can read that in islamicword.com. That's the reference. See, this is what they are saying. They have issue with it, yet they are still practicing that lifestyle. And it's because they are in tight corner. Allah did not reveal any verse to cancel it. Muhammad did not reveal say anything in their deed that cancel it. But they are in the tight corner. They have to hold it. We have Dr. Salama. Yeah. So we have Dr. Salama. He was actually making a point again in the same. I think, okay, I'm going to repeat that. Let me just keep that. I've read that before. Now, let me read something to you, which is also part of what Sunni Scholar said in this website, almescat.net, volume 3, number 1506. What has been reported from Asma and Nasa narrated it from Muslim Quri. We went before Asma bint Abu Bakr and we asked her about Mut'a and Nisan. She replied, I performed this Mut'a during the lifetime of Rasulullah. And also we read that Ibn Zubayr denounced Ibn Abbas for his opinion on Mut'a. Thus, Ibn Abbas told him, go and ask your mother. Look at this one. Look at this. I want you to listen. Ibn Zubayr denounced Ibn Abbas for his opinion on Mut'a. Look at what Ibn Abbas told Ibn Zubayr. Thus, Ibn Abbas told him, go and ask your mother what she did with your father. When Ibn Zubayr asked her mother, she said, by God. The mother replied, by God, I did not conceive you except through Mut'a. So
Jesus
the mother
Christ.
conceived. Hello?
Yeah, I was surprised. I just said Jesus Christ. Go ahead, please.
the Zubay was denouncing the Baba, that you are very stupid for this opinion that you have. How can you talk about Mut'a like this? And he said, go and tell your mother. Go and ask your mother what it is. Then when the mother wanted to say, by God, I did not conceive you except through Mut'a. So,
Wow.
so like magic, you can see that the magic wand in Islam is just very decent to them, and they legalize prostitution. So let me quickly round up because I have about 2-3 slides more to end this. And we read that verily Allah made permissible, that is the continuation. It said, verily Allah made permissible for his messenger whatever he likes and as he dislikes it. And therefore, thereof the noble Quran has been completed. So complete Hajj and Umrah for Allah had commanded you and confirmed by proper condition the marriage of those women with whom you have performed Mut'a, that is, that you have enjoyed, that we read in Surah 4 the other time. And any person who will come to me with a marriage of fixed duration, Mut'a, I will stone to death, which is the penalty of committing fornication by the previous married person. So we read that in Sahih Muslim, volume 3, page number 311, in the book of Hajj, in a chapter about the scholar view regarding the legitimacy of one who performed the Mut'a while during the Umrah. We also read, this slide. Okay, verily allowed me permissible for this messenger. Okay, I think my screen is skipping. Okay, Allah said, Allah also forbidding our women already married, except those whom you have your right as possessed. We have read this the other time. The ayah means you are prohibited from marrying women who are already married, except those whom you are right hand as well, except those whom you are acquired through war. For you are allowed such women after making sure they are not pregnant. Imam Ahmad recorded that Abu Zayd al-Khudri said, we captured some women from the area of Atwa whom were already married, and we dislike having sexual relationship with them because they already had husbands. So we asked the Prophet about this matter, and this ayah was revealed, also forbidding our women already married, except those whom your right hand was. Consequently, we have sexual relationship with these women. Can you see now? I'm not the one that said it, though. It is your sources that said it. So we are rounding up. What does the Bible say? Leviticus chapter 19, verse 2. Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, ye shall be holy, for I, Yahweh, Jehovah, your God, am holy. To me, Allah is not holy. So far, we read this in the Hadith as well. Muhammad is not holy. None of the Muslims who practice this, and they are still practicing it today, are holy. And those people that are shying away from it are not holy. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 3 to 5 to 7 said, for this is the will of God, your sanctification, that you should abstain from fornication, that every one of you should know how to get possession of his own wife in sanctification and honor, not in the passion of lust, like the Gentiles that knows no God. For God had not called us unto uncleanness, but unto sanctification. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed keep pure. For God will judge the adulterer and all the immoral, sexual immoral. Malachi chapter 3, verse 5. We read that, and I will come near to you people for the judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerer and against the adulterer. Let's read finally, what Islam teach. Mujahid said, I was working with Ibn Umar in a slave market. Then we saw some slave dealers gather around one slave girl, and they were kissing her. When they saw Ibn Umar, they stopped and said, Ibn Umar has arrived. They fear Ibn Umar. Then Ibn Umar came close to the slave girl. He touched her. He touched some part of her body and then said, who is the master of this slave girl? She is just a commodity. May the Lord bless you. The Lord let the light of God shine upon our Muslim brothers and sisters there over there to see the true light, that they have engaged in a religion that permits fornication. In theory, in their sources, it may condemn fornication, but in practical, it is active. May God bless you. Thank you very much, Brother Korede. Over to you.
Wow. I just want to say that I'm a bit stunned. I've read a bit about Mut'a, but it's not this exhaustive. And what you've done tonight, bro TMD, started from last week, is to show us that this is not something that is just on the surface, okay? Now, because the sources you have brought to us, we have a lot of them which are Sunni sources, okay? Because I've had a lot of Sunnis saying that, hey, it is the Shia, it's the Shia that is actually engaged in this thing. We Sunni condemn it, we don't do it. The Shia are the one doing it. But then
Hmm.
most of the sources you have narrated to us right there, we have a large portion of them also being Sunni sources. So what are the Sunni going to say about this? I mean, we have a God who condoned, a sort of prostitution, all right,
Hmm. Yeah.
or adultery, as the case may be. Because if you have a married man who is not going to meet a woman and having sex with this woman for a temporary time, you're just going to be in relationship with this woman for a temporary time. That is a sort of adultery, okay?
Yes.
And you are saying that that is okay. You are saying that this is actually the same God, and it's coming from the same God that actually sent Moses, that sent Elijah, that sent John the Baptist, the same God that Jesus called Father. This is the same
Hmm.
God that you're saying sent the Prophet of Islam. It's not the same. And if you're
Hmm.
saying that the Prophet is holy, you call him Kudus Nabi, okay, the holy prophet. All right. How could a holy prophet, okay, receive a revelation from God to give his own followers to do something that is against what he professes to be sinful? So if you're Muslim today and you're listening to this, I mean, you should really think about this particular thing. That if your prophet is actually sanctioning, sexual recklessness, how can you say that this prophet is actually from God? He's allowing his follower to engage, okay, in short term. In our own modern, language today, we call it short term. Okay. If your prophet is allowing his own follower to engage in short term, how can you say that this prophet is actually from God? Thank you so much for what you've done tonight, Brother TMD. We are so, so grateful. And then for the Muslims who have been wanting to ask questions, this is your time. Okay. Now, I've looked at the comment section and I've not seen a single question from a Muslim. I've not seen a single question from a Muslim. And we're expecting the Muslim to come here tonight to actually ask a question about what you've said so far. But we've not seen any question. Okay. Is this an indication that the Muslim accept that this is coming from their source? That their source actually says that it is okay for them to actually engage in this sort of practice. All right. Is this an indication? Okay. So we have a couple of minutes to go. We have 6 minutes to go, Muslims. We want you to come and ask questions. And if you're a Christian also, you can actually ask a question. So while we're waiting for the Muslims or the Christians to ask a question, we're going to go for about 2 minute break and we're going to be back. And when we're back, we hope that the Muslims will come and ask their question and then we'll be able to move on from there. So let's go for a 2 minute break right now. And when we are back, we hope to get a Muslim or a Christian asking questions. Let's go for a short break. We'll be right back.
Are you passionate about understanding and defending your faith? Do you seek a deeper knowledge of Christian doctrine and desire to engage thoughtfully with the world around you? At the Seasoned Apologist Institute, we equip believers like you with the tools and knowledge to stand firm in your convictions. Our mission is clear: to teach sound Christian theology and to empower believers to defend their faith with confidence and compassion. Through a blend of academic excellence and practical training, we prepare you to articulate the truths of Christianity in a way that is both intellectually robust and spiritually enriching. Join us for in-depth courses, dynamic seminars, and engaging lectures that cover a wide range of topics, from the historical reliability of the scriptures to the philosophical arguments for the existence of God. Our faculty consists of seasoned scholars and experienced apologists who are dedicated to your growth and development. At the Seasoned Apologist Institute, we believe that every believer has a role to play in the defense of the faith. Whether you're preparing for ministry, looking to deepen your personal understanding, or seeking to engage in meaningful conversations with those of other beliefs, we are here to support you every step of the way. Dive into a community committed to truth, wisdom, and love. Together, let's explore the depths of Christian theology and the heights of Christian apologetic. For more information about the courses we offer, do visit our website at www.sainstitute.net or write us an email at info@sainstitute.net. The Seasoned Apologist Institute, where sound Christian theology meets rigorous defense of the faith.
All right, welcome back. Now, if you've been joining us right from the very beginning, you'll notice that what we've been discussing tonight is a very, very important issue, okay, which is actually the issue of Mut'a, temporary marriage in Islam. And our dear brother and friend, Brother TMD, has been able to do justice to this topic of discussion, sourcing from a variety of Islamic evidence, especially from, the authentic sources, the one that the Sunni will consider to be authentic, to show to us that the Prophet of Islam actually sanctioned and also allow his own follower to engage in temporary marriage. And we say that if a prophet is actually engaged in this sort of a thing, we cannot say that this prophet is receiving this from the Almighty God. So, Brother TMD, we have not received any comments, any question from the Muslims. Over the weekend, we have a Muslim saying, hey, Korede, why don't you allow us to ask questions? One was even asking that we should put in a number, on the show so people can call in to ask their question. But then we've actually allowed, an opportunity for questions right in the comment section, and we've not been able to get any at this point in time. So, Brother TMD, what's your last word for, the Muslims and the Christians out there, especially on the issue of, Mut'a? What would you encourage the Christian to do concerning this topic? And what would you want to tell the Muslim lastly before we call it a day?
Briefly, thank you very much. Christian doesn't have anything to do with this. What I would just tell Christians to do is to ensure that they open their mind and use these sources critically in engaging them polemically. And the Muslim out there should open their mind as well to see how ridiculous. I don't mean it in derogatory way, to see how it is ridiculous for somebody to tell me that to solve my adultery, I have to be sleeping with another woman. And I said last week that what about the woman at home? It is not man that have feelings alone for sexual passion. Women also have that kind of feelings as well. So if I'm going to leave my house for in a couple of days to go and meet, to go for a walk or for a walk, and I have opportunity to sleep with any woman I want based on God's revelation, allegedly, what will my wife be feeling at home as well? If she have urge for sex, can't I also contract someone, pay Brother Muri, Brother Tajuddin around the street to also do Mut'a? So why is it legal? So legal for men and not for women. So that is unjust for Allah to have done that, and that is very ridiculous to even allow such lifestyle to happen. There's one thing I used to tell. Maybe I should pass this message to our Christian brother. I've said severally to people that one thing is very important. Wherever you want to go to, and you know that it's going to take a longer time, please don't leave your family behind. Many Christians who fail today run into the ambush of money, and that landed them into the ambush of another woman. And from there, that was the end of their lifestyle. So always cherish your family, love them so much that you will not fall into ambush of another woman. The moment you fall into the ambush of another woman, your ministry is gone and you may not be able to stand up again. So for our Muslims there up there, really the women, please leave this dirty religion who dehumanize you, who call you a commodity, who see you as a what is it called? Something they can ridicule or do anything with at any time. So I pray the Lord will open your mind. And as men, Muslim men, you have to abandon this cultic religion and come to Christ Jesus. God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much, Brother TMD, for that. I think we finally get a question, for you to attend to. So we can just attend to this question and then we will, be calling it a day. So here's the question from Oludade Samuel Jordan. And I was asking the question saying, if this contract temporary marriage called Mut'a was in Islamic sources, why are they denying it? So that's the question is asking.
Okay, briefly, majority of Sunni Muslims may deny it publicly. Maybe once they see it ridiculous or they see that it doesn't match with the modern lifestyle, so they will deny it. Meanwhile, they practice it secretly. But Shiite Muslim generally they practice it. They don't deny it. They even defend it to the core. So anybody that is denying it see it as ridiculous, like I said. So mostly they don't actually deny, or they explain it the way that it was during the lifetime of Prophet and it was nullified later on. So that's it.
All right. Thank you very much. So we're so grateful to have you again, Brother TMD, on this channel. And no doubt we're going to be having you more on this channel. And again, I want to appreciate you for the patience. Thank you for putting all these resources together. We are so grateful. So by the way, if you want to connect to Brother TMD, you can actually do that by going to on Facebook page. You can actually go to Fatu Kodoro. Now, Fatu Kodoro is actually a Christian apologetic channel that does Christian apologetics in the Yoruba language. All right. So if you want to connect with him, it's not on Facebook. I don't think he's on Facebook. So the only way you can connect to him is to go over to Fatu Kodoro YouTube channel or Facebook channel, or you can even go to TikTok as well. So that's where you can actually reach out there, brother and friend. So again, want to thank you, brother TMD, for coming on the show today. We have been blessed by your presentation. We pray that the Lord will continually to strengthen you in Jesus' name. And for those who are watching us right now, we want to thank you for staying from the beginning of this program up until now. We are so thankful. We are so grateful because of your patience. We also want to thank those who are praying for us. Thank you for your prayers. Your prayers are very helpful. We need very much of those. And those who are actually supporting us financially, those who are contributing to us, our camera project, we're so grateful. We're thankful. We're moving gradually, even though we have a lot to do, but we're still moving gradually. We're thankful for all of those who have been helping us. And we pray that the Lord will reward your labor of love in Jesus' name. Lord willing, next week, we're going to be coming your way again. This is the Season Apologist Live. My name is Quranic Lawayne. And Lord willing, next week, we shall be meeting again. I want to say to you now, bye.
Thank you for joining us today on Seasoned Apologist Life, where we dive deep into the truths of our faith and equip you with the tools to defend it. We hope you found today's discussion enlightening and encouraging. Your engagement and support mean the world to us. We're here for you if you have any questions or comments, or just need someone to talk to. Feel free to reach out to us anytime. You can call us at +2 34707 347 5590. Visit our website at http://seasonedapologist.com or send us an email at info@seasonedapologist.com. We love hearing from our listeners and are always eager to connect. Don't forget to join us next week for another thought-provoking episode as we continue our journey in faith and understanding. Until then, stay blessed and keep the faith alive.